Hello, hello, everyone. Another day, another 1,000 words, 2,000 words. Howdy. What's up? How's everyone doing? Justin says I'm 15,000 words behind my intended goal. We're changing that today. 15,000, no more, no less. The stream doesn't end. I won't make any promises. How's everyone doing? Hello, Coral. Hello, Pasqua. Is that how you pronounce that? Let me know. Coral, long time no see. Long time no see. Hello, Willow. Hello, Justin. Ariana. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Kenneth, how's it hanging? Oh, today's gonna be a good day. I'm excited to do some writing. J-Sam feeling better today. Let's go. I never doubted you for a second, J-Sam. Never for a second. Stream won't end until I get 15,000 words or the 2-hour mark comes. Whatever happens first. I'm willing to make that promise. I'm willing to make that promise. I like that's the art of the deal right there. All right, before we get started, which today is going to be a productive day, we're not going to hang out too long before we actually get writing. I started this the other day. I don't know if everyone was here. Zerg, hello. I don't know if everyone in the chat was here yesterday, but there is a live stream video that I want to do where I gather every writing tool that's worth writing in, that's worth trying. And in the live stream, we sort of open each one up and spend 15 minutes trying it out or something like that. So I'm brainstorming all the different ideas for writing software, writing websites, writing products, writing adjacent things. So if you happen to know any that aren't on this list, let me know, because I am down to try something like that. That could be fun. Trying to think of what we might be missing here. We got a distraction-free writer. We got a plotting software. We got Campfire, dictation, map making, world building. I don't know if this is actually a thing. I think I just made this one up. I might have made this one up. I don't know. Readsy, this one's interesting because Readsy is mostly a marketplace for connecting to services related to writing, illustrators, editors, beta readers, etc. But they also have a writing tool, which is interesting. So we should check that one out. For the Words is gamifying writing, a full-fledged RPG adventure about you writing. Novelpad is just a cloud-based writing thing. Babisco, this one's interesting. I don't know if anyone's here heard of Babisco. This is one of the very few writing tools that I'm aware of that, at least in the past, has advertised itself as like for Linux. And of course, I think they have Windows and Mac OS as well. But this is like, at least when I first heard of it, it was free and open source. So it sounds like a butter substitute. It kind of does, doesn't it? Hey, pass the Babisco. Milanote project management. We got Notion, which does a little bit of everything. Hemingway, which is one I'm a fan of, which is going to be a rudimentary editor, but also just a good kind of markup writing tool. I have, what did I have on my laptop? JSam, I don't have Google Docs on here because I feel like everyone already knows about Google Docs, in a sense of like, there's nothing I could provide about Google Docs. I'm down to throw it on here and anyways, but I don't know. I saw Coral says Hero Forge for character generation. If you want to 3D print off your main character. We got Google Docs there. I saw someone said Obsidian. I got an Obsidian installed on I think every single computer that I have. That'd be a fun one to look at. I'm trying to think. I've seen sudo write. I've seen auto crit would be another one. Auto crit. Studio Binder, you haven't heard, but it's used for writing screenplays. I was on the Studio Binder website the other day, and I saw that they offered some sort of writing software. So that's interesting. I do think it is mostly screenplay stuff, though. Studio Binder does have a killer YouTube channel, definitely. I've binged my fair share of Studio Binder. The thing I like about Readsy is that most is that when you're done writing, you can export it and it gives you a print-ready PDF, assuming you don't want a lot of options in your fonts and whatnot. Well, Justin, I will tell you that is a breath of fresh air, because what I did mostly today was script out my video showing you how to use the compiling feature in Scrivener and trying to not make it like a master's thesis of user experience and why Scrivener is not good at teaching their users how to use that. It's going to be a long video, but it's going to be a good one. Because of the compiling thing, it's confusing. It's hard. That's also, Vellum is another piece of software kind of dedicated to that. Exporting your writing in a proper format for something like ebook, maybe paperback. I don't know if Vellum does that too. I guess we have to also talk about Atticus, because they're kind of competitors against each other. Lantern Valley, welcome, welcome. I think we got some good stuff in here. What would be nice is if there were options on here that had like a pretty direct competitor to look at both of them. So like Milanote kind of is competing with like Trello, which is kind of competing with Monday. Does Atticus format for physical books? I'm not 100% sure, Lee. But you know what? If you tune in for this live stream, when I do this, we're going to find out together. Google Docs. Man, there's not really a lot of competitors to Google Docs. Trello is rotten eggs, LMAO. Yeah, I mean, look, they are Atlassian. Atlassian, especially for a personal use license, not necessarily the right move. But Milanote, probably better. I don't think Mondays. Anyways, everything I'm saying here, this software, Kanban board, some sort of project management, some writers could use that. I use Trello for timelines, but other than that and organizing thoughts, it's not really good for writing. Yeah. We're trying to blur the lines a little bit, right? What software that writers could be using and maybe they just don't know about yet. Google Docs is just the forefront for writing software, easy to understand and use, no paid pass besides Gemini. Yeah, I know Google Docs is going to be, I mean, they've really cornered the market for like, I just need to write something down real fast. You're going to Google Docs, you know, or I need to share this with someone. Everyone's got a Gmail account, it feels like. So yeah, I get it. There's just some things Google Docs doesn't do great, and it's mostly for bigger writing projects. I feel like it starts to fall apart when you're getting to higher word count. Now that may have changed since they introduced things like tabs and you can break up your chapters into different tabs or something. But you know what? That would be a good thing to look into. Spirit City on Steam. What in the world? What's Spirit City? Now there's a piece of software I've been trying to. Oh, Spirit City is like lo-fi music and a focus tool. Hey, so is this live stream right here. What up? What up? What was I gonna click on here? OneNote, great for building an outline in a Bible. There you go. That's a good one. I feel like OneNote, Evernote is another one that's kind of like that. Pretty much only use Google Docs for sharing with others. I write in Scrivener and export everything to Google Docs. I'm the same way. What else we got? Google Docs doesn't have a dark mode. I'm sure there's someone who's cracked the code on that. Some extension, some plugin. Yeah, dark mode's a lifesaver. Okay, I think we got a pretty good collection of things here. I'll probably whittle them down to not be so many things. Plus, what can I get access to and accurately represent on stream versus what is like, you know, like, do I really need to sign up for Trello? You know what I mean? But that could be cool. I'm telling y'all, we're sleeping on Tiddlywiki. We're sleeping on Tiddlywiki, a totally local hosted plugin library of a Wikipedia that you can build for your own world. I'm telling you. Tiddlywiki. Y'all don't know about Tiddlywiki. Y'all don't know Tiddlywiki. It feels like that should be something. Let's get some people on that. Track Bear. This will be a good one. Vellum and Atticus. All right. I think that's a pretty good start. I appreciate everyone's help. Thank you. Thank you. Margot. Late gonna have to be quiet. I'll be quiet too. But Margot's here. Leonard Valley. Just saying, I'm really bad at Google Docs and I don't know how it works. Whew. I feel like Google Docs is the approachable one. Am I wrong? I feel like that's the one that's going to be easiest to pick up. I feel like if I have Google Docs, I also need to at least represent where is it? Google Docs / Microsoft Office? Is that a thing? What's their like cloud version? Do they have, they would probably be the company that has the closest competitor to Google Docs, right? Some sort of, it can't be 365, right? Remember when they did that? Microsoft Word 365 and it was worse than 2007. 2007 Microsoft Word. Hold on. Let me go on record here. 2007 Microsoft Word may be the best word editor ever created. 2007 specifically. Also, I got to zoom in the camera. Yeah. I only use Word 2016 pirated version, so I believe you. I mean, of course, I can't say that you should be pirating anything. That would be a terrible idea. Maybe. I'm a glutton for familiarity. I am too, but I'm also excited to learn new things. So that'll be a fun live stream. I'll let you guys know about that. I also think it'd be fun to do it on live stream and not like some recorded video, because you get to see the usability issues right off the bat. When I'm like, why? I don't understand what's this button does. All right. But also, one more thing. I think that live stream would be a great thing to take that one long video and trim it down to a YouTube video. And that's thinking with portals right there. That's thinking with portals. All right, what are we doing today? I'm excited to do some writing today. I feel like I'm unlocking some cool new things for my story that were not part of my original plan. Everything's coming together. I'm sitting at 24,000 words, which feels really good, feels really exciting. And yeah, we're gonna do some writing today. Are you guys ready to write? Dude, don't admit to pirating. I would never. And neither would anyone else in this chat. Sarcasm just doesn't come through in text. Zender, hello. All right. I think it's time to do some writing. Let me get this timer reset. 25 minutes on the clock. Make some good progress. If you're stuck, try to plan your way out of it. Worst case scenario, skip ahead to where you're not stuck. Start writing from there. Pro move. I'm turning the music up, microphone off. I'll see you at the end. Sprint number 1 is done. How'd everyone do? Felt pretty good. Felt pretty good over here. I think I ended... That was a 746 word sprint for me. Dig it. Dialogue heavy scene, fun to write. The writer Lee, 429 words. Nice. Ariana, 363. Willow, 400 words. Margot, 100 words and lots of chores. I'm so sorry to hear that. Zerg, 432. Heating up still. How to Google how dry ice works. But hey, if you're heating up, dry ice is the answer. Michaela, 831 words. Dang. Havoc Gray, 482. Nice, nice. Pasqua. Did you tell me how to say your name? I don't know if I missed that one. I worked the last 2 nights having trouble getting back in the groove. Oh, getting back in the groove. That's a tough one. I think the best thing to do to get back in the groove are things that you implement the day before. That makes sense. I was talking about this on the Pro Writing Gate live stream today, that not ending your night writing by like finishing the big chapter you're working on and instead finishing like halfway through a chapter almost always makes things easier when you come back to your story the next day. And it's a little bit easier to get back in the groove then. That's been one of my tricks. This Pasqua, I got you. That's been one of my big tricks this whole November. Has been, it's kind of been serendipity. I've just been finishing the sprints like kind of halfway through a chapter, and when I come back the next day, I'm just like, oh, of course this next thing is supposed to happen. I don't even have to think about it. I can just start writing. So trying to implement stuff like that, that's helpful. Otherwise, it's just one of those things you're just like, I gotta like grit my teeth and put the phone away and like focus on writing just for a little bit. And then once I'm back in the groove, then I can set myself up for future success later. Fingers crossed, at least. What's all this talk about talking spiders? It's supposed to be an unsettling scene, killer. The main villain is crawling up a wall towards a little girl's window, like a spider. That do be sounding creepy. And Kaylee's still trying to fix Act 2. It almost, Kaylee, I'm almost wondering, is this one of those things where maybe you should just follow your like storytelling instincts and just go into chapter 2 and see what happens? Also, Justin, 494 words. Let's go. Let's go. Carson on fire. A good way. Spider-Man makes an appearance. Look, what am I trying to say here? Where do spiders fall on the creepy scale? On, you know, are they like a 10 on the creepy scale? Are there things that are just like spiders are the creepiest concept you can think of? Because I get taking a spider and then doing a little bit more with it in your story can be pretty scary. Interesting. For me, the scariest thing I think parasites. Parasites be scarier. Also, what is this? I never saw a plot falling apart in Kaylee's story. Also, my things aren't up there. Oh, here we go. Kaylee says, I'm technically 6 or 7 drafts in. Oh no. Oh no, Kaylee, that's not good. That's not good. You say they all fall apart in Act 2? Because if you're 6 or 7 drafts in, what that tells me is you've had plenty of time to practice the opening of the story. 6 or 7 attempts at putting together the inciting incident and like a hook and a cool character introduction and everything. But if they all fall apart at Act 2, that means you've never gotten to really like grab hold of the idea. Kaylee, I wonder what would be the right way to do this. Hold on. Hold on, I have an idea coming. And I think it starts with the table. Kaylee, I wonder if you maybe should approach this with like, okay, clearly where I'm at right now, I'm having some issues like grabbing on to the narrative thread I'm supposed to follow through Act 2. I almost wonder if you should do some kind of like, you know, let's say we make things more dramatic. Let's say we make things more mysterious. I'll say we make things more epic, right? And then I wonder if we can do some kind of matrix here where it's like, okay, let's take the character arc of what we understand about our story right now. Let's take the plot and then let's take the, what would be another good one? I don't know, protagonist. Bear with me, everyone. Let's say we took all of these little aspects about our story here on the left side, because I think by the time you go in and you're doing the, you know, 7th draft of Act 1, you kind of have an idea for like who your characters are, kind of what journey you're expecting to send them on. You have a rough idea for where the plot needs to start and end, and you have, in this case, I couldn't think of a third thing to put down here, but I almost wonder if you should take each one of these concepts and just explore, okay, what if I take my character arcs that I currently have in mind and I just like, you know, cranked them up to 11 and made them more dramatic? How would that change Act 2 of my story? What other narrative threads would we uncover if we pretended that the story that I'm writing here just needed to be amplified in this way? And then maybe you might find that that leads to characters are split up and need to return back together before continuing the quest. That would be a more dramatic approach to your character arc. Maybe we're going to make things more mysterious. How can we take that mystery that's in your novel and crank it up to 11? Disregard any planning you've already done and just say, if I'm going to make this idea do more in terms of mystery, what would I add on here? Is there something to solve? Are there clues we need to plant? And I wonder if maybe you could come up with some interesting ideas by just like saying, I'm going to take this element of my story and completely just independently plan it out in a different way and then see how it plugs back in. And I know your story specifically, Kaylee, I know your story specifically sounds like it has a lot of like facets and a lot of like things that you're wanting to do with it. Is something you've been working on for so long. So it may be harder for you to say like, okay, I'm just gonna change it now. But I mean, clearly something needs to be changed if you're stuck on Act 2 again. I'm taking this idea from something I do with my YouTube videos. It's called the Infinite Idea Generator. The Infinite Idea Generator is where I have a table set up And basically it says, okay, here's a generic concept for a video I want to make, right? Something on plot twists. And then I'll have entries on this table for different styles of video. And it'll say, okay, if I was going to make a video about plot twists that was a self-experiment, right? What would that video be called? I wrote a story with a plot twist and nailed it, right? Okay, if that's the video, how would I want to put that video together? That's going to be what I script out or whatever. Or maybe it's a list style video. Here are 6 authors that nailed the plot twist and how they did it. Or it's going to be a video that's a video essay, the art of the plot twist. So you're taking a more generic concept, but you're plugging it into different kind of like inputs to create a new idea out of it. And I almost wonder, now this is coming from someone who uses that sort of framework to come up with ideas. I'm almost wondering if there's some way that you could do that with elements of your story when you get stuck. Harder to implement because you have to execute on them and make a whole story out of them, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, how would you make your plot more dramatic? Let's add a ticking time bomb that forces characters to act before they're ready. How could we make the plot more mysterious? The thing we need to solve the quest is lost and we need to find it. We can't progress until we do. More epic. You know, you kind of see what I'm saying. It is hard to talk about these things just like out like that, you know? But yeah. I don't know. It sounds like there needs to be a new approach, though. Is what I'm saying. Also, let's get rid of this dang table. Table. Remove table. Bam! Hope. Oh, hey, that's kind of cool. Good to know. You don't lose the information if you delete a table in Scrivener. Coral says, my characters were too isolated, so I threw them in an outside world so they had to react. Hey, that sounds like a great way to do it. How do I avoid burnout? I felt it a lot last night. Willow. Honestly, I mean, burnout's going to happen, but I think burnout's part of writing in the sense of like, it takes the discipline to keep showing up and keep writing. You know, that's the hardest part of writing a book. It's not coming up with the cool idea. It's sitting down and writing 100,000 words on that idea, you know? Burnout. I think number one, accountability helps. Doing things like joining these live streams or joining the Pro Writing Guide live streams and like being around other people who are also writing. I think for some people, that's an aspect of like motivation that can help avoid burnout. I think, in my opinion, the thing that helps me the most is acknowledging the progress I've made and kind of celebrating that. Because I feel like that's really easy to not do. In the sense of like, you know, oh, I just crossed the 20,000 word mark in my story. Cool. Another 20,000 words to go still. Versus being like, wow, I just wrote 20,000 words of a story, a completely original work that won't exist if I don't create it. That's worth celebrating a little bit. And I think that also helps. Everyone's going to be different, but for me, just acknowledging the fact that what I'm doing is kind of a war of attrition. It's me continuously showing up and putting in the work, and that's the battle. You know, acknowledging the steps that I take and celebrating those help me keep going. I think that's another thing. Cora says, honestly, when I burn out, I take the night off and come back the next day, recharging. Willa says, I couldn't bring myself to write yesterday, and I felt so burnt out after the stream. I forced myself to write 1,000 words. That's probably a tough one. I don't know if I would force myself to write 1,000 words because I was feeling burnt out. Lantern Valley says, fun is more important than all things. Meditate on why you want to do what you want to do. Can you burn out on the thing you want to do the most? I think you can. I And Kayla says, my experience is the opposite. More pressure, like the group challenges, actually makes burnout worse because I push myself when I'm already exhausted. I've told you I've been taking the weekends off from writing because I'm doing all these live streams. So I'm writing 3 hours a day. I think if I were writing on the weekends, I would also be feeling burnt out. I think coming back on Monday after a weekend of not writing, I'm usually excited. You know, I feel recharged. I'm excited to come back and write. If I never took a break off of writing, then I would never have the chance to feel excited and refreshed going back into it. So maybe you could argue pacing yourself. Like Zerg says, no machine or animal works 100% of the time. That could be a good thing. Also, hey, when I'm in a very writing heavy mood, I'll tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not spending all of my time watching writing videos, and I'm not spending all of my time reading books. Maybe I should, but I think allowing your brain to find relief and excitement elsewhere also kind of reserves writing for when you're here actively doing it. That could also be a good thing. Gamer dude, hello. But burnout happens to us all, just like imposter syndrome does, just like insecurities in our writing happens to us all. Coral says, I think it's important to think about why you're writing in the first place. Why are you uniquely qualified to write this piece? I have different feelings about that personally. I think that you as a writer are your value is that you are applying your skills and your excitement and your interest into creating something for someone to read, and maybe, just maybe, they'll read it and they'll really, really like it. And so for me, I think that a writer can tell just about any story if they're willing to put in the work and put in the discipline and put in the time. And the story that you create is an expression of yourself, not some symbol of a story that would be perfect if you could write it like that, but an exercise of your own thoughts and will and imagination and excitement. And so I think part of being a writer is learning that, first off, it's okay to burn out. Very normal. Everyone in here has probably burnt out at one point or another. And then also, the story's always there for you to keep writing. It can be hard to come back to a story and keep writing, but writing's a war of attrition. Speaking of, why don't we take those emotions and try to process them by putting the phone down, whatever it is, and just trying to put some words. Take a break to write a novel and then come back to it. I'll tell you, last November, I was burnt out after doing Novella November. And I did a couple more days of writing on Upon Careless Gray Hills. And then I didn't touch it for like 4 months. And I came back and I'm putting in the work to complete the story, but it happened to me too. Let's talk about it more when we come back. Let's do some writing, make some progress. 25 minutes on the clock, music's going up. If you're feeling demoralized, try to channel those feelings and get some words down, even if it's only 100 words. Let's do it. Next sprint is over. All right. I don't know if it was because I was writing kind of a fun scene. That felt like 5 minutes to me. That was a very fast 25 minutes. How'd everyone do? Try to forget the timer more often, LO. Lantern Valley. Don't tempt me. I'll do it. The writer lead, 361 words. My main character just learned that she was hurt with a cursed weapon and the pain will only increase until she goes mad. That sounds like fun. I like that. Goro, that was really fast. That's what I'm saying. Ariana, 423 words. Let's go. Zerk, I think 532. Need to start remembering where I stopped last time. Zerk, what are you writing in? Are you writing in Google Docs? Lantern Valley really bad at track bear. Willow, 300 words. Breaking out of the rut. Imposter syndrome, be gone. Burnout, also be gone. Word 2016. Okay. Yeah, I feel like it should have most everything you need. Scrivener keeps track of the words in your manuscript, the words that you've written this session, and then it also gives you a breakdown of how many words you contributed to your manuscript versus how many words you contributed in other files for planning and stuff like that, if you also wanted that breakdown, which is kind of wild. Ariana, 536 words. That's a solid sprint. Let's go. Nice. Ooh, crossed 41,000. That's crazy. Oh, Coral says I put dashes after each sprint. You're going to be cleaning that manuscript up anyways. That's not a bad idea. Justin, 216. Nice. Margot, 656. That's a good sprint. Good sprint. Main character of my filler project. Oh, Margot. Margot also has a filler project. Just met the zombie protagonist of my main book, Tim. Oh, Tim's got a friend. Kaylee ended up having to stop my story fixing to break up a fight between my kids. Let me at him. Just kidding. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. I finished my original 2, so I made it a 3rd one, though there's no strict goal for that. Margot, we're going to have to look at Track Bear at the end of this stream to see if the sheer amount of overwriting is gonna skew everyone else's position on the graph, because the graph might eventually end up Margot way up here, and simply by the scale of the difference between everyone's words, all of us are like one thin line at the bottom of the graph. So we'll see. The ceiling rises with me. That's true. It really does. Margot's skewing my data. But, you know, as long as everyone's still fairly represented at the bottom, we'll see. All right. Oh, man. Yeah, I was having fun writing. It felt like my character's in a hardware store, which I have plenty of experience in the hardware store. So I'm like, this is my time to shine. You know, Neil Stevenson writes about like science and cryptography, and, you know, Andy Weir writes about surviving life on Mars and the Hail Mary project. I don't have those, but like, give me a story set in a hardware store and I'm gonna be the expert. Zerg says, what's going on in your story right now? I feel like it's been a while since I heard what's happening. I would love to tell you. So, where do we start? We have our main character who's been lying to his father about where he is. He got fired from his job and told his dad he was going on a work trip, and he just decided to basically run away. He found an old letter written from his mom who left when he was at a very young age, and he's decided to go try to find her. He's arrived in this little town of Goodview, Virginia, and found that she's been missing for years. Word gets around town. All right, Kaylee's in here quoting Weird Al to me like I don't know. I was there when the ancient texts were written. I had that on cassette tape. And then our main character, trying to find purpose, ends up at this campground that his mother used to own that's now fallen into disrepair. And now he's like, I'm here. I don't know what to do with my life. I'm lying to my dad. I've just discovered my mother's missing. I don't know what to do. So he decides that one of the things he could do to maybe feel a little bit closer to his mother is to try to start taking care of this campground, which starts with just trying to organize things, trying to mow it down. And then, of course, we meet a bunch of colorful characters along the way, including the love interest. We've had a bunch of comedic moments of trying to fix things with them going crazily awry. Dirty water spewing into the air, covering him. People laughing at him. But he's not given up. Also, he's encountered gnomes. And a pair of red eyes at the bottom of the lake as well. Let's see what else. We've just met one of our side characters, Isaac, who is a survivalist, who a prepper, maybe the right word, a prepper, who's a really soft-spoken, really big guy who doesn't have a lot of friends. And of course, throughout this story, they're going to become very close friends, and we'll, get to know this very soft-spoken giant. Then let's see what else. We are about to have our character try to capture some of the gnomes. I know it's not exciting like the murder thriller that I'm writing, where I can be like, ooh, a murder's happened, who's covering it up? But once I nail down the elevator pitch for this story, it'll be fun. Like actual gnomes, like gnomey gnomes. Imagine like the normal proportion of a person, except shrunk down to the size of your elbow to your fingertips. That's the gnome in this story. Not like Snow White dwarves or anything like that. But yeah. It's coming together. It's heartwarming. It's got a lot of fun little magic in there. It's going to be a very emotionally driven story of this kid who's slowly finding out that his mother, who left his family, had a happy life here in this town. There's the love interest of the story, this girl named Becca, has brought a whole bunch of photos that she has of growing up, and our main character's mother being in all these photos and celebrating birthdays, and him being like, why didn't I get that? Harboring some anger, trying to deal with those emotions. That's what we got. Writerly, I was thinking garden gnomes. Garden gnomes, they didn't capture me, They didn't capture me. They remind me of the Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. A gnome has to be between the sizes of 12 inches and 18 inches. Yeah. Yeah, that's right in there. Ideally, at the end of this story, we have a very satisfying conclusion. Here was my goal when I was planning it out, and we're about to get right in so we can do one last sprint. My goal when planning the story out specifically was to say every major named character in this story needs to have a full and satisfying change by the end of it. Every single character, I want to have some wound or problem or flaw that through the course of this story, it all comes together and everyone has a major change for the better. That was my goal. I really want it to be something where at the end of the story, it just feels like everything was tied up perfectly. That's what I'm going for. I feel good about it. I feel like it's got a lot of charm. But yeah, I'm excited with it. Anyways, I will stop boring you with details from my story. I'm sure your stories are much more interesting than my little gnome story. Yeah, let's do some writing. 25 minutes on the timer. Imagine Stardew Valley, but with gnomes and in Virginia and Appalachia. I feel like the ultimate everything was tied up perfectly story was Holes, a great one. I need to read the book Holes because I watched the movie. The movie, of course, is fantastic. All these characters have their characters, but they all have wounds, problems, flaws by the end of the story. Is that what I said? All right, let's write. Okay, here we go. 25 minutes on the clock. I'll see you on the other side. The sprint is done. Willow says just a moment away from the climax. Nice. Lee says, not sure how many words I wrote this last sprint, but 4,000 words total today. Wow. That is a ton of words. Good job, Lee. Good job. I just got into the mystery. Oh, man. Look, you show up, you put in the work, cool things happen. That's all it takes. This wasn't as fun of a scene that I was writing, so I didn't get so lost in it, but I ended with 2,400 words, and that does feel good. Zerg 402, nice. Hell Jumper, hello. 246 words, nice. Ariana 224, Zender 3,000. Oh wait, saying 3,000 words. That's crazy, Willow. Pasqua, strong work. Margot about 600 again, nice. Look at that. Happy Gray says, switch to an alternate project for the last sprint and got 615 words. J Sam, 1,000 words today. Nice. You should be. Wait. I got things mixed up. Also 1,000 words for Coral, which you're ecstatic about, and you should be. Good work. Good work. We'll end with our new tradition here, which is Crack Bear. Let's see. I got 2472 on Tiny Doors. Nice. And I got 1051 on Upon Careless Gray Hills. Boom. Which brings me to... Nice. 3,500 words today. Look at that. Margot, about 2,000 words today. Good progress. Good progress. And of course, the leaderboard. See how everyone's doing. Margot breaking the ceiling. It looks like everyone still gets fairly represented down here. We'll keep our eye on it, Margot. You may have to, if if it becomes a problem, you may have to adjust your goal here. Otherwise, be proud of the progress you made. Look at that. Oh, who's a J Sam catching up right on my tail? He's on my 6. The Ryder Lee also. Look at that. Good progress, everyone. Chicken Lover. I don't know if we have Chicken Lover in chat. Making some solid progress. I don't think... Do we have Willow? Yeah, Willow's here. There's Willow right there. Ariana also making great progress. Michaela, 1337 for today. That's awesome. Good job. Zerg, let's go Zerg. We haven't had Katie join stream in a while. Have it great, let's go, have it great. Does everyone get to choose their own color, or is it just fate that Have It Gray is the gray color? We didn't have Bra today. Sad. Bra's been doing good too. Ryder Lee, Jeff Wag, who was on the Pro Writing Gate live stream today, but not this one. Okay, you get your own color. You got to pick. Nice, nice. Congratulations, everyone. Look at that hard work. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? Feels pretty good. Turns out Track Bear is kind of cool. The slow but resilient climb of Zergo. Wasn't Justin in here? Where's Justin? There's Justin. Let's go, Justin. All right. You know, it is pretty fun to end the live stream with looking at Track Bear. Satisfying. All right, everyone. Good job today. Good progress. I hope you feel good about the words you wrote. I hope it was satisfying. And maybe more than anything else, I hope you had fun doing it, because I know I did. It feels great to make progress on our stories, to be creating something so cool and original, and I'm glad we found an interesting way to do it all together. Congratulations, everyone. Good work. I will be here again tomorrow, and I hope to see you there so we can keep making progress. Look, by the end of this week, we'll be 3/4 of the way done. We only have one more week after this. Only one more week. Try not to think about it too hard. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow or next time that I see you. And I can't wait to ride with you again. I'll catch you all later. Have a good evening. Take care. All those good things. I'll catch you next time.